So, where you guys been? If you follow YouTube stuff, you know that the big trend right now is how to get into search, and that's pun intended. You see most searches are how to do something, how to edit a video, how to tie a bow tie, how to change the oil filter on your car. So I decided that how to not post a video for 18 months would be the appropriate title for this one. The last time you guys saw me, I had just turned 40. And that video was so short, I could actually drop it inside this one and not worry about making this video too long. Though it might be a long one. Don't really have a script, kind of coming in here, going off the top of the head, keeping it open and honest. So the pandemic hit, and I thought starting a YouTube channel would be a good way to keep myself occupied. I was stuck inside like everybody else, but I was by myself, was halfway across the country. We're sort of isolated from the family, all doing the right things we were supposed to do to keep each other safe. And 5 days after that last video posted, and this is tough. I haven't had to say this one out loud in a while, but I lost my mom unexpectedly. Yeah, got a call from family telling me what had happened. I'm not going to go into every single detail, but I had talked to her the day before, and I knew she wasn't feeling good around the holidays, but nothing outside of the norm. Wasn't COVID related. She had a history of some heart problems. Just based on that, that's kind of the conclusion that her doctor and examiners came to. But yeah, after that, my entire world was completely rocked and turned upside down, on top of the fact that I was in the middle of an interview process for a job across the country, 2 jobs actually, and then to get that call out of nowhere. I'm an only child, and I don't have a super strong relationship with my dad. No hard feelings at this point. That's all processed, therapized, and I kind of moved forward. But my mom and I were close, and we had a challenging relationship growing up too, but we were really tight, and she was the only family member I saw during the pandemic. I kept myself isolated, because she had some things going on, small procedure on her eyes to remove some cataracts, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing my part so we could pod together, so I could get her to the surgery, she could kind of come recover with me, and then we could get her home when it was good to do so. And that had been working. We spent Thanksgiving together, just the 2 of us. I cooked at my place, and same thing with Christmas. We did that as well, and that just came out of left field. And after that point, like, nothing really felt like it had a point. Sitting down in front of a camera and talking about new editing techniques, or something fun I watched on TV, or a video game I played, or going, hey, this is how I make graphics in Photoshop and pull them into Premiere. It was hard to do that anyway. We had gone through COVID, we had gone through George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all the other, needless loss there. That's enough trauma for an entire world. And then to have that personal trauma hit, I didn't have it in me. I was still making things, but I was only making things that I was either being paid to do or that I felt obligated to do from a freelance or work standpoint. I just didn't have any creative drive. And that's hard anyway. I want to make a video later talking a little bit more about mental health. I'm a big advocate for it. I mentioned the therapy thing earlier, and it's not a joke. It's 100% true. Sometimes you get in a rut, and it's hard just to get motivated to do fun or silly or even just a very straightforward video, because it doesn't feel like it carries the same weight or value that life is kind of throwing at you at the same time. I kind of kept doing the things that were necessary and paused everything else. And then life started to kind of pick back up and sort of move forward, whether I liked it or not, which life tends to do. And I had some good things happen, but it was still challenging. I mean, everything was still so fresh, but the first great thing was I did get 2 job offers to relocate to California, which is where I am right now. I now live in Fresno and do digital marketing and video production for a nonprofit here in town. It's awesome. The people are awesome. The job is awesome. The work is awesome. I couldn't think of a better job to get acclimated to a new town, unless they hired me to be like the official mascot or the tour guide or something. It's been a really positive experience, and it's been a cool way to distract myself from some of those other things that have been a real struggle. And the upside was that put me in the same place as Melinda, which was awesome. And so I moved across the country after living in the same place or within an hour of the same place for 40 years. It was huge. There was a lot of stress, and it was hard to manage that stress. Leaving family behind, after losing family, leaving a job and a place behind that had been my home. I was working at my alma mater, and I love my alma mater. So it was tough. And just, the bigness of getting rid of all of my things, packing up my things, and getting everything across the country, which I had never done before. And the other thing, which I can't believe I haven't brought up already because I get accused of talking about her all the time, is I inherited my mom's cat. And she's not just any cat. She is a 20-pound Maine Coon, all black, and her name is Willow, and she's my little sister, and Mom always talked about her being my little sister, and I was her big brother. And she's very shy and skittish, and it took her like a month to warm up to me. She would kind of sleep under my bed, and when I would go to bed, as soon as the light went out, I would hear ch-ch-ch-ch, and then she's in the living room hiding under the couch or under a table, and then I'd get up in the morning, and then I'd kind of be moving around the living room and go back to the bedroom. But always checking on her, feeding her, putting food under the couch, just kind of letting her do her thing, get acclimated. And one day, peeked under the couch and she started purring. She just decided, all right, today I like you. But she was huge for me, not just because of her size, but it was kind of the last thing I got to do for my mom was take care of this cat that she adored, loved, just, on a pedestal. And so we, not only was I moving myself across the country, but now I had to move this cat that took a month to get acclimated to my apartment. And 5 months later well, we're going to get on a plane and go across the country. And that's what we did, met with the vet, got some medicine that would calm her, but not knock her out, got clearance and paid the fees to take her on the flight with me through United. I got the carrier that was TSA approved, had to lift her out of the carrier and walk through the metal detector with her so the carrier could go through the x-ray when the whole airport came to a stop when this giant cat came out. I mean, to the point where there was the guy sitting next to me says, "Is that the cat? I saw you. I was 3 people behind you in security." We still text sometimes. Like, we became buds on that flight. He's a musician. I do something creative. He does something creative. So we've sort of stayed in touch. Lugged her all the way from one side of O'Hare in Chicago to the other to make the connecting flight to Fresno. And then we got her here, and the adjustment process started again. It was challenging and tough. That's a ton. That's enough in a year for a lot of folks. But as soon as I got the job, as soon as we knew I was moving, we even had a kind of a target date in mind of when we would be moving. Because of vaccines, COVID was opening back up, and we hadn't really experienced or anticipated another spike. So we decided to start planning this wedding that had been on hold for a long time because of job and everything else that was kind of holding us back from being together. And in January, we got married. I got the ring to prove it. It was awesome. It's been a whirlwind. Lose mom, get a new job, plan move with cat, get to new place, acclimate, get things, get car, still acclimating to new job and new location, plan a wedding, execute the wedding, get married, which was fun. I mean, I hear a lot of stories from filming weddings and talking to people leading up to ours that say, it's so crazy you don't remember everything. I don't know. Like, I think because I heard it so much, Melinda and I both tried to be really mindful and present and really soaked it in. And Omicron, came and wrecked that a little bit too. I mean, our guest list dropped by probably 40, 50 people in the week leading up to it. I had one person who was able to make it from the East Coast, and once again, no hard feelings. Everybody made the right decision. No one got sick. We never heard a word about anybody who made it getting sick. People we love who either had COVID or afraid of COVID or didn't want to take the risk because of an exposure all made really, really hard decisions to not come. And because of that, we were able to have a safe wedding for everybody that could come. And as much as we would love to have them there, it was such a good day. So it's hard to go back and think how to do it differently. Now, 6 months almost to the day after the wedding, we're closing on a house, which has been a whole other thing that I will talk about in another video because it makes smoke come out of my ears. It was so much to learn and so much to figure out, and I had never done anything like that before. But we got through the wedding, and we got past sort of the 1 year anniversary of losing Mom, which was actually like a week right before the wedding. And I started to get the itch a little bit. I'd been doing a little bit of freelancing here. I've taken some pictures for the local USL soccer team who are in the same division as the Richmond Kickers, who I used to do video for. And I've done some video for social for them as well. I did a little bit of directing for the local minor league baseball team and just, working for other people. Because once again, I just wasn't fully driven. But I've started to get that itch again. And I've kind of in that place where I've processed and I've made peace. And I mean, it's obviously just this conversation makes me realize how painful it is to talk about what happened with Mom out loud. But I want to make a video again. And I know that I'm not talking to a ton of people when I do this, but the storyteller in me from a narrative standpoint needed to do a video to explain why I hadn't done any videos. I needed to have that continuity in the channel where just for my own sanity and process, just to be like, okay, videos stop here, 18 months later videos start again. Why? Well, the first video back, will explain that. So this is long and rambling and therapeutic and probably more for me than for anyone else, making this one to get it out there and to kind of do my process, both from a mental health standpoint and from a narrative storytelling standpoint. But long story long, as it tends to be with me, I'm back. I don't know how often I'll post. I have a million ideas. I never stopped taking notes. There was probably about 6 months where I didn't think about it at all, but I kept getting ideas even after that. And I would put them in a document in my phone, and I have this running list of ideas of videos to make. And I think a few of them have expired because they involved being in Richmond and I'm not there anymore. I'm 2,700 miles in the other direction. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff I want to do. I want to explore Fresno. I want to do that with my camera. I've been doing a little bit of that, but as COVID's eased up, and I've now had COVID. I had COVID a month ago. So I got 2 months left of being bulletproof. I want to get out there and make some stuff. And, I'm going to set some kind of personal goals and not hold myself to any obligations. But that's where I'm at. So I guess it's safe to say